I'm Erica from Bronx, New York,
I'm Meredith from Phoenix, Arizona,
bringing you the latest in news and politics.
filled with snarky views and pithy commentary. You're listening to the Two Conservative Lesbians Show.
And we are back here with our third episode of our Two Conservative Lesbians Show, and Meredith and I are being very silly right now for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I think it's because we're going to be talking about the president more than we normally would.
And it just mentally disturbs us to do that.
It does. But let's get everything else out of the way, and talk about the president towards the tail end.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So let's talk about this death. Who died? Somebody important, somebody unimportant.
Well, somebody pretty important. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
King. King Abdullah in Saudi Arabia passed away. He was 90, so we're not exactly surprised that he died, but it is kind of unfortunate because we don't know exactly what his successor's viewpoint on things are going to be. And King Abdullah was, despite Saudi Arabia's bad reputation in human rights abuse, he was more progressive than many of their leaders have been. I mean, he let women go to school. So that's pretty impressive for a leader in a Muslim country. And so we just don't know what his new successor, who is his half-brother, who's 79, also in bad health. But we don't know what his particular viewpoint on that's going to be.
If I was him, I would get a taste tester quick, because if he should end up dropping dead at any moment now, are we really going to blame it on old age? I think we're going to blame it on government interference at this point.
Well, there are an awful lot of successors after him. There are a lot of Saudi Arabian princes to take the reins if he dies soon. And like I said, he's already in bad health, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if he kicks the bucket sooner rather than later. But really, there's, what can we do? There's nobody that's going to do a really good job in Saudi Arabia, not as long as the religious people are exerting more control than the political people.
Is there an uprising that we should be in any way concerned about possibly happening in Saudi Arabia? I mean, there's so many happening in other places like Yemen, for instance. Just recently, the president or the leader and the prime minister, I think, both resigned and said, "Screw you, we're getting the hell out of here." And it's like, okay, there's a lot of issues going on in other, countries. Is Saudi Arabia going to fall victim to that as well?
I kind of doubt it. That they have such a strict succession rule there that no matter how many people die off in their line of succession, there's always someone to take the spot as king. So I don't think anything's going to is going to topple that regime anytime soon. And despite as horrible as I think Saudi Arabia is, it's one of the more stable regimes in the Middle East, and we probably don't want to see anything happen to it.
Right, that's what I mean. Point. Like, do we see other countries, do they feel like this is the opportunity, if there ever was one, to infiltrate Saudi Arabia, that this is the time, this is the moment?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Iran doesn't try to take advantage of this in some way, because Saudi Arabia and Abdullah did exert a certain amount of control over them. And now that he's dead, they may think this is their opportunity to start, being like a teenager with their parents out of the house, throw a party. Only with Iran, that would be a nuclear party, and lots of people would die.
Well, Iran is our BFFs now, the way Russia was our BFFs. So remember that. In case anyone's listening, we are friendly with Iran, and we want no sanctions for them whatsoever, and we want to let them live and grow and make nuclear weapons as peacefully as possible.
Yes, totally. That's a great thing.
That is our new foreign policy.
That's what it sounds like to me, anyway.
Exactly. Okay, so I want to talk about one of the picks that I had, which is kind of like, it's kind of like the shoe on the other foot instance, and this harkens back to a while ago when there was and this was happening, it seemed like everywhere, where there would be a gay couple who would go to specifically to a bakery, and the bakery said, no, it is against my religious beliefs to make you a gay wedding cake. And the gay couple went to the gay rights group, and the gay rights group had a big outpouring and outcry, and they went to court, and the court said the baker had to bake the pro-gay cake, that they couldn't say anything about it was against their religious rights, blah, blah, blah. Well, here is it on kind of like the flip side, because now you have people going to a bakery and saying, I want a cake in the shape of a Bible that says God hates gays. So now here comes that trusty government, who is always here to help and to serve the people, is investigating this bakery in Colorado, by the way. Good old Colorado. Isn't Colorado the place that has legalized marijuana?
It is, yes.
So I'm surprised at the way they're behaving about this. But anyway, marijuana aside, they are investigating the bakery for religious discrimination. What?
Oh my.
Wait, how is that religious discrimination? Because they don't want to put God hates gay. First of all, I don't espouse to any religion that actually says that in their, like, that's their religious belief. Any religion that says God hates gays should not be a religion. That's more of a cult. That's more of that's the most unreligious thing I've ever heard. There is no religion on the face of this earth that is a viable religion, besides maybe the Muslim religion, that says God hates gays. You know what I'm saying? So how that could be religious discrimination, I don't know, because to me, a religion that says God hates gays is not a religion. So how could they be discriminating?
Well, anything can be a religion. You don't have to like it.
Right.
Neither of us would like Westboro Baptist Church, but that doesn't mean they're not religious. They're just religious in a way that we think is stupid. So, it's religious discrimination in that a religious person came in with a religious belief that, both of us think is stupid and horrible, but he came in and wanted this cake made, and they refused. And you know what? They should have had the right to refuse to make that cake. Because they're a private business, and it is. It's the shoe on the other foot. Haha, how do you like it now?
Right.
On the other side. Like, do you like it when you're told that you have to make a cake for somebody who hates gay people? No, you don't. So guess what? Maybe you should take into account the fact that discrimination laws are stupid.
And they definitely should not have to go to any sort of training to make one more acceptable to a person or persons that they don't agree with. Like sensitivity training, why should you be forced to go to sensitivity training in order to have a bakery?
Right. Well, why would you be forced to go? It's funny because they'll force people to go to sensitivity training to be more nice to gay people. But are they going to force these people to go to sensitivity training to be more nice to religious people who hate gay people? Like, I'm not sure how this works. Like, I think that this is going to be very interesting to see what happens with this case, because everybody loves a place that gets shut down if they won't serve gay people, but but this is going to happen, and they're suddenly going to say, oh no, this is wrong. This shouldn't happen to these people because they were doing a good thing. But anybody else we don't like, those people should get shut down.
Exactly. When I saw this story, I said, wow, talk about it being flipped on you. I mean, the only thing that would have made this story even better is if the owner of the bakery was gay. I mean, that really would have been sort of like an opposites thing. Where it was a gay bakery, and someone purposely walked into a gay bakery and said, hey, make me a Bible-shaped cake and put God hates gays on it. Like,
right,
what?
I mean, come on. It would have been absolutely perfect if this had been run by a gay couple.
If it was, they would not still be investigating that. If it was, these people would have been tarred and feathered. Okay, they would have been banned from every bakery in Colorado, if that were the case.
Probably, yes.
Okay, If that were the case, that's what would have happened. Okay, so now, what's this about Miss Universe?
Okay, so the Miss Universe competition is going on right now, which, if you've seen any of the costumes going on for Miss Universe, they are disturbing, but that's off topic. I saw the Canadian costume for Miss Canada, and that was. I don't think I'll ever sleep again after seeing that.
I'm probably
Anyway,
one of the few lesbians in the world who doesn't watch Miss America or Miss Universe pageants. I find nothing in it whatsoever.
I only watch it for the swimsuit competition.
I'm sure you do. The truth comes out. We know what kind of lesbian Meredith is. Anyway, go ahead.
I think we've wandered slightly off topic. That was my fault.
Oh,
anyway,
sorry. Well, you picked the story.
Right after everyone arrived here in the U.S. to take part in this, there was a bit of a dust-up between Miss Lebanon and Miss Israel, which, if you know anything about international politics, Lebanon and Israel are pretty much always at each other's throats, since Lebanon is home to Hezbollah. According to Miss Lebanon, jumped in on their like selfie moment and took a picture of her and posted it on Instagram, and it's pissed off the Lebanese a lot.
Because she took a picture of her?
Yeah, because she took a picture with her. So it's Miss Israel and Miss Lebanon in the same picture. And that was just like totally offensive to the Lebanese because it was showing sort of like it was like Miss Israel and Miss Lebanon are friends. That's horrible. They can't be friends. We hate Israel. So that was a really big deal, and apparently it almost caused Miss Lebanon to be pulled from Miss Universe, but apparently not. Apparently they worked it all out, and she came out saying that, oh no, I didn't want to take this picture with her. Like, she made me take the selfie with her. It was really rude, and I didn't approve of it. Blah blah blah. And I'm just thinking, you're smiling right into the camera in the selfie. I really don't think she like snatched you aside and forced you into this.
Well, let's keep track of her, because if she should go missing when she goes back home, we will know why.
I wouldn't go home if I was her. I'd be like, hey, Miss Israel, can I like come home with you and stay for a while? Because I don't think I want to go back to Lebanon.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be receiving a warm welcome on her way in the door.
But, you know, it's kind of ridiculous that the fact that that the hatred between Lebanon and Israel has reached a point where somebody can't take a selfie with another person.
In like, a Miss Universe pageant, okay?
It's like everybody from all these countries is here. Maybe, you know, this is a chance to show some, like, well, you know, what do you want? World peace. That's the whole joke about Miss America pageants, right? So maybe this should be what they're talking about at Miss Universe. That we should have peace between Israel and Lebanon. I'm sure Israel would not say no to that.
This is one of those where they should be doing like a behind-the-scenes look or documentary on the Miss Universe pageant to see if anyone tries to sabotage someone else. Like, that would be so awesome.
That would be. It would be like watching world politics in action.
This sounds like a movie. I feel like I've seen a movie that was like that.
I've seen the movie about the dog show, the documentary about the dog show.
I was talking about the Sandra Bullock movie, but anyway.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking about actual documentaries about, you know.
Hey,
a fake documentary done about dog shows.
You don't think Miss Congeniality is a documentary? What's wrong with you? Anyway, sorry.
Pretty sure it's not.
If I had a paper to write, I would cite that as a documentary. Anyway, so let's move on to what was the highlight of the week, I think. Big highlight of the week. And that is, of course, as you all know, the President of the United States gave his State of the Union on Tuesday. And for, I think, what will end up being the one and only, I hope, time in the history of the presidency of the United States, he did something that was so unbelievable, so beyond, I don't even understand. I really don't even understand. But he gave an interview a couple of days after the State of the Union,